All right, so today we were talking about removing material using the drill press largely, although some of these tools will work on a hand drill. But we're talking about removing things with precision, whether that's going halfway through material, going all the way through to create a hole. These are the tools that you're going to use. So we have Forstner bits. They're housed in this green case right now. We have hole saws, which are in this black case. And we have spade bits, which are in this yellow case, and they need to come back into this whenever you're done with them. All of these need to stay organized. It's really critical that we don't lose them. They all have different purposes. You can probably assume that the hole saw with the name is for cutting out holes, and that's what it's for. Cuts out holes, and it leaves you with a wooden disc, basically, that you can pop out. Sometimes that's useful if you want to, make a round shape or something. But it will also leave a nice hole in your surface. You've got spade bits, which these will work pretty well on a hand drill and an impact driver as well, where you can actually use them to just make some smaller holes really quickly and cleanly. They are typically used to make a hole all the way through your material. They have this little centering piece right here. I'll show you how to use those in a future video. And then lastly, we have the Forstner bits. Now, these are really precise. They make a really clean hole and can stop halfway through a material or however deep you'd like to go. But they are really sharp and heavy and a little dangerous. So we're gonna be super careful whenever we pick these up, that we're gonna pick them up just like how I did, where I am not grabbing them by the bladed end. These are like little razors at the end. I'm picking them up right here, and then I have it. We're also gonna not be like super rough with these and like drop them or anything like that, so try to keep a good grip. All the different diameters are listed here. So you can see it's like 1.5, 2 inch, 2 1/8, and then there's some really small ones over here. So today I'm gonna just use a 1 inch. So I'm taking the 1 inch out, I'm holding it here, not gonna drop it. Again, it's super, super sharp. I'm gonna walk it over to my tool. I'm gonna remove the tool that's currently in here. And it's just like in our last video where we're gonna put the key in. I'm gonna hold here. I'm gonna pull back towards myself and then loosen this guy. Let's do that a little more. There we go. So it drops out. Return this bit to where it goes. So it needs to go back into the drill bit case. You set it here for now. Don't do what I just did, actually return it. And we're gonna load up this bit. You can see this has a pretty sizable, I'm gonna have to really back this out quite a bit. So I can, either you can sit here and manually spin this thing back, or you can use your hand. So I'm just holding the bottom and using my hand to twist this. And I'm gonna have to go quite a bit. Let's see if that's enough. Nope. Just gonna keep going. Okay, so once I'm in, remember we're going to then close it up. Try to keep it nice and centered. Tighten it, and then remember this is really sharp down here, so whenever I take this out later, I'll want to keep a hold of it here and not have my hand under it. I'm going to tighten this up. I always do it in two, I don't know why, but I just do. Then I'm going to put that on top. Then you're going to grab this document right here. And this is our drill press speed chart. So before, we didn't really have to mess with the RPM much. I'm going to turn this on. I got no material down there, staying safe. Whenever this is on, it has an RPM display. So it's set to 1500 RPM right now. And if I look at this, there's different sections and different pictures of each type of bit. So if you don't know what type of bit you're using, you can find it here. We're using a Forstner bit. And then here's the diameter of the bit. I'm using a 1 inch Forstner, which says I need to set, if I'm cutting into pine softwood, at 1500, okay? If I was using a hardwood, I would set it to 500. If I was doing acrylic, I'd set it to 250. So this is how you typically read it. In this class, we're largely gonna be using softwoods. So 1 inch, 1500. I'm actually already there, but if you had to change it, you can adjust it, slow it down, speed it up. Okay? Then I'm gonna turn it off. So now my machine is fully set up and good to go. I'm gonna grab some material and and put it on here and clamp it down, and then we'll get started. All right, so I have secured my material. One thing you want to test, especially with a larger bit, is you want to make sure that bit is not going to hit your clamp, okay? I've done my wiggle check. You'll notice that these Forstners have like a little point at the end that actually will like leave a mark. And there's some really clever things you can do that we'll show you in like a future, more advanced video, where you can like come down halfway, flip it over, come out the other way, and like how to do all that. And you use that little point to line things up. So that is the center of my circle, and it's gonna cut a 1-inch diameter circle. So I've got it secured, I've done my wiggle. I'm gonna move this over here, and with the Forstner bit, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna turn it on, and we're gonna have to find like exactly how deep to go with this thing. So I'll show you just to start off. So I'm pushing not super hard, and that's a little harder, and we see these little shavings that appear. So if I push really hard, I'm gonna push hard on it now. We get bigger chunks. If I push really soft, I'm gonna get basically sawdust, like little powder. So there's kind of a like sweet spot that we wanna hit. We wanna hit a little bit smaller than a pencil shaving. We don't want just like powder coming off of this thing. And if you come look at this, you can even see I didn't burn it, but if you push hard enough, this will absolutely burn. So you've got to be really careful about how hard and how much force you're applying. This bit also, like it will heat up quite quickly. So it's critical that we take a lot of little breaks while we're doing it, okay? So I'm gonna close this up. I'm just gonna go a little bit further down. I'm not gonna go all the way through. If you are punching through, by the way, just make sure that that this table didn't get moved, and that that this is actually gonna go through that hole and just not like hit into the table. All right, so I'm gonna start it again. I'm gonna come down. So that's about what I want. Pull up. Up. So I'll show you again what it looks like if I'm going too much. So that's too much. If I'm seeing these big, this is like a pencil shaving. I'm going too fast. You gotta let it cool. And don't forget you can set your stops up here and set this up so that you get exactly the depth that you want in your material. I'm gonna wait for it to stop spinning. I'm gonna be really careful passing my hand under this. I've seen lots of times where people accidentally brush their hand against the blades and then, it's no good. So try and stay away from the blade. I'm gonna unclamp it, take a look at the hole. Looks good, really super clean, and that's the depth that I want. So this is gonna be a lot of cleanup. Make sure you brush this off, sweep it into the vacuum system. Again, to remove this bit, I'm just gonna show you that again. I'm gonna hold it here, never hold it at the bit. We're gonna unlock it. Take that. Notice I held it the entire time, I didn't let it drop. We're gonna return it to the case. And that's it.